I mentioned to you the only technique that we have discussed so far that uh, basically reduces the size of the mesh is to make the mesh small everywhere. This is just like killing a fly with a cannon. That's my favorite expression. Uh, you may not need small mesh in certain areas. You only need a small mesh in critical areas. And I want to remind you, by critical, I mean the places where the stresses change rapidly. I don't mean necessarily the size of the stress, but when the contour plots are very closely packed, which means that they're changing rapidly, the stress is changing rapidly or displacement is changing rapidly, that's where you need a finer mesh. In fact, this problem we did, and this was a rotating disk problem, we found that we actually need a finer mesh in this area, okay, because the stress was changing rapidly and then dropping down. So let me show you how you make a finer mesh here, or a finer mesh in the hole, or a finer mesh around an edge, etc. So I just created this object, has no particular significance. Let me make it out of some material, so metal, I don't know, aluminum, steel, whatever you want, doesn't matter. And now we're going to go to generative structure analysis. And Catia, what it does, it creates a default mesh of that size for you. Okay, so for example, if you look at your mesh, it will look like this. Let me change the rendering here. There. Okay, fine. These elements are almost of that size. And if I, for example, want to get a small mesh here or a small mesh there, the only way I know how to do it at this point, not having seen this video, is I make this element small everywhere, and therefore by default it becomes small here and there. So let me show you a different way of doing it. Let me deactivate the mesh. Okay. You see this this toolbar, which says Model Manager. There's a traffic light here. Looks like a traffic light. This one that we haven't used because Catia has automatically meshed it for us. But if you expand this first icon, you expand the second one, it says Mesh Specification. And if you put a cursor there in the middle, it says Local Mesh Size. So if I click on this, it says, all right, where do you want to refine your mesh? Let's say that I wanted a finer mesh here. See that? This is not much smaller than that, but you have a control over changing that value. So I can make this thing 0.1. Okay, see? Right there. That almost became this. So if you look at your mesh, in this area, the elements are much smaller. Whereas in the rest of the model, the elements are still the same original dictated size. Okay, let's say I also want to make the mesh small in this hole. So first deactivate this and do another local mesh right there. And it creates a mesh that it wants, that size. Because I used this number previously, I can use a smaller one, bigger one, or whatever I want. So I'll make this thing, as a matter of fact, how about smaller, 0.05, or you can make it bigger. You have a control over this. Oops, did I type in the wrong number? Let's try it again. 0.05. That's what I wanted. Oh, the support is right. Let me cancel that because I think accidentally I already created this. So let me delete that. Try it again. Okay. So we already have the first local mesh there. We do another one, and this is the surface that we want to take, and we put down whatever we want here. I'll make it 0.05. 05, and say OK. It's a lot smaller. You can see, look right there. Compared to that and compared to this. So let's look at our mesh. Ooh, see, this is the original one, the first one that I refined. This is the next one that I made even smaller. Let me deactivate that. Deactivate the mesh. Suppose I want to find if I want to use a small mesh around that edge. Same thing. Click, select the support, and select whatever size you want. I'll just keep it like that. Okay. So we say OK. Now look at the mesh. Right click, mesh visualization. There. You see this? See? One last one. Let me deactivate this. Suppose I want a small mesh on that face. No problem. So click on that. There. And I don't know, maybe 0.3. Look at the mesh. It also refined here. And finally, you can do it for a single point. Right click. What is that? Deactivate that. Suppose you want a fine mesh around that corner. Click on this. Select the point. Not the face. Cancel. Let's try it again. Select this point there. Why is it taking the whole thing? Oh, I cancel that. I want to select a point, but it's selecting the entire thing. So let's try it one more time. Oh, I guess I'm not sure why, because you should be able to do it around. I thought you could do it around the point 2, but it sure doesn't look like it. So let me cancel that. Let me try it one more time. Yeah, it takes the whole thing. It looks like edge works, face works, and but point doesn't look like it, and I did not know that. I thought that it should have worked. Yeah. Anyway, you get the idea. So it looks like point is the problem, but that's surprising because there's no reason. Let's try something else. Let's try making a. Let me start with a box. Let's see whether I can do it from there. Part. There's no reason why point should not work, but who knows? Okay, so there's the box. Exit. Add it. Okay, good. Apply material. Apply material. Metal, aluminum on the part. Okay. And now go to generative structure analysis. It'll mesh it for you with this size element. That's fine. You can look at it. If you want, it's right there. Change the rendering here. Okay, good. Deactivate this mesh. And here comes the moment of truth. I want to see whether I can refine it around that point. Yeah, it sure doesn't look like it. When you select that, it selects all the, it looks like it selects all the faces. And that is really not what I want. So it looks like edge works, face works, and that's pretty much it. Alright guys, so expect something